Hello and welcome to Real-Ationship Talk, the podcast hosted by yours truly, Teresha Young, relationship master coach, where we have open, non-judgmental, heart-to-heart conversations about love, self-love, self-care, dating and relationships. And for this week's episode, I have been joined by the glorious Jennifer Beaumont-Whyte. Welcome to the show, Jennifer.
Thank you so much, Teresha. It's an honor to be here. I've listened to a bit of your show, and I can't wait to get going because I've got so much to say.
And I can't wait to have our discussion because I absolutely love the work that you do. It's so exciting. And you will be the first guest talking about the industry that you work in. So I can't wait to have that conversation. So let's do this. So for those of you who don't know who Jennifer is, I'm just going to give you an understanding about that. So Jennifer is a home energetic specialist and real estate consultant who has had over 3 decades of experience in her own businesses and key management roles with major companies, where she has had huge success with coaching her teams, troubleshooting and turning those businesses around to achieve multi-million contracts and 7-figure turnovers. 7-figure turnovers. As a serial entrepreneur, Jennifer currently runs her bespoke real estate business powered by the TV famous Nest Seekers International, selling luxury homes to a global market, where her specialism is helping clients who are having difficulty selling their homes to turn things around and achieve the best deal in the fastest time with the least possible hassle. In her work as an intuitive life and business coach, she has been for over 17 years helping soul-conscious business owners to get clear on their true heart's desires and shift whatever is blocking their success to become more confident, courageous, prosperous, and be living their best lives on their own terms whilst doing what they love. She also helps her business clients who are struggling with disorganization and clutter in their homes to clear their CRAP, calm their confusion, and learn to create their sacred space for success with her Love Your Clutter program. And that's love as in L-O-V-E.
Yeah.
And Jen, I absolutely love your mission, what I'm going to read out as well, which is, I want to help create a world where every human being has a beautiful, functional, sensual, safe and loving place to call home. A sacred space where they can be fully self-expressed as the best version of themselves, relaxed, recouped, revived and ready, I love those R's, to go out and connect and make a difference with their own divine gifts to the world. Powerful. Absolutely powerful, and such a really lovely combination of skill sets that you have combined there. So I am really curious to understand a bit more about some of the key highlights of your life journey and your career path that led you to doing all that you do now.
Okay, so where does one start? Okay, so let's start where I'm at now. I'm all about home. Home is a really precious thing to, everybody wants a home. It's one of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Home is shelter is a basic human need. And during the last couple of years, we've realized, how much home means to us. A lot of us had been in that lockdown situation where we've had to be at home. And some of us have realized that how important it is. And there's other people who have been like homeless for years. I spent 5 years being homeless after I lost my investments and my home in on the southeast coast, moving from one place to another. But nobody actually knew I was actually homeless because I was with friends and renting and being looked after by family, etc. But I kept my spirits up and I kept my vision of what I want for the world as my North Star, and it's got me to the position where I'm now helping people find their luxury homes, find their dream homes. And I've also got the other arm where I've got my coaching arm, where I'm helping people to declutter from within, because what's going on inside you shows up on the outside, both in terms of relationships and your actual environment shows up from within you. Yeah, if you're really confused and anxious and whatever, you have a confused environment Yeah, it's disorganized, and then you have people who show up to actually make your life more confusing.
Absolutely.
That's my belief. So that's where I'm at now, to to say where I'm at now.
Yeah.
But in terms of where it all started, I've always been into interior design from when I was a kid, and as I grew, got older, I never actually managed to get into college to do interior design. I went into hairdressing because I missed the missed the intake for the interior design course, and plus I didn't have enough qualifications to do that. So I thought I'll do the next thing that's like creative, and and that's hairdressing. I got married to an interior decorating master, decorating a master decorator. Okay, and while I was with him, I mean, I spent 8 years being at home with my kids, which was really, really lucky. I didn't have to go to work. He was doing really well. And then while I was there, I actually did some interior design courses, and then got involved with actually working with him in his business, doing the decorative finishes, marbling, ragging, soft furnishings, all of that kind of stuff with his business, and doing the admin for his business as well. And then when my youngest was ready to go to school, I, funny enough, went back into hairdressing. So I didn't actually pursue interior design on that side because that was his thing. He wouldn't let me actually pursue my goals and what I wanted to do in that, because that was his thing. I'm part of his business. So when I wanted to get back into the work world, I just went back to hairdressing.
Yeah.
And I developed that from working for someone to being a manager for a company, open my own salon, closed that because my youngest was starting Italian Conti stage school, and I didn't want him to travel on his own through King's Cross and the Barbican as an 11-year-old. So I gave up the business and got a job in a recorded guide company. So I was in around London most of the day, checking the checking the recordings on special exhibition sites. Yeah, so National Gallery, the Tate, the Tower of London, St Paul's. So I had to go and check the recordings, make sure the staff was being looked after, talk to the curators, do the health and safety, check the money, all of that. And I only spent 2 days in the office. So it was the best job ever, because I had to listen to the recordings in an empty gallery all on my own. And I learned so much about art, which is one of my passions anyway. Yeah. Then from there, I was downsized because I did my job too well. I'll talk to you about that later.
Okay.
Then what did I do from that? I got a job as a trainer for hairdressing. Okay. And I worked myself up to become deputy head of the academy, the hairdressing academy, fell out with the management. And then I started working from home. Long story short, got divorced around 2004, moved down to Hastings, bought a big property down there, lost my investments in the 2008 crash, and then met someone who's really, really lovely. But the problem we had with between us was that we were too much of he was a control freak and I was a control freak. And we were trying to control for each other. We had our best interests in the other person's best interest at heart. I'm doing this for you, so you must do this like this because this is the best way for you to do it.
Of course,
and he's doing that to me, and it's like, okay, and there was always constant clash. But we parted as really, really good friends, and to this day we're still very good friends, and that's from 10 years ago, so we're still good buddies. Yeah. Then I sort of lost track where I'm at now.
So the crash, would you crash? And
yes, the crash. So when I moved down to Hastings, it was I took my diploma in coaching down there because I just discovered life coaching, and then started to do my coaching practice. The crash happened. Before that I went into estate agency. So that's how because I thought estate agency like it was on the TV when you see them in American programs that that you're staging and you're doing the open house, and, it's all glamorous and everything. When I went into estate agency in this country, in London, it was completely different, because you only get a small fraction of what the agency gets as your salary, as your commission. You get very low salaries, so you're constantly opening doors to various buyers, to try and hopefully this buyer is going to be the one, and you just constantly move it. There's no chance to build any relationship with your client at all. It's like you're in and out. I didn't enjoy that at all. Try to introduce staging at that time. This is like we're talking about 2008, 2006, where staging, and even to this day, staging in this country isn't used by estate agencies at all. In America, it's really big. Because you're selling a product, you're presenting a product to the marketplace. This is the lifestyle. This is the kind of environment you're going to be buying into. So therefore, make it look appealing. Whereas estate agents in this country don't do that. They come in and take the photos, put them on the portals, and pray. And
stretch them out and make them wide.
You make them wide, and make them look completely different from when you show up. So I thought it was going to be like that. Anyway, I knew about staging, and I did a couple of staging projects staging advice for a couple of vendors, and it got results. These properties were on the market for ages, and I told them what to do, and they did it, and they sold within a couple of days. But they weren't my sales. Somebody else in the office got the sale. Anyway, so I knew that worked. Then the property crash happened. I left the industry, went back to coaching. I was coaching from then to 2020. And then dipped into real estate, because I went 2018 to visit my children in the States, and met a couple of realtors, and told me how the things were in America, how you get business. You're independent, and you put your property through a brokerage. And I thought, wow, that's really cool. So I thought, when I come back to the UK now, I'm going to pivot back into real estate. Then I came across Keller Williams, who's actually an American company who actually do that kind of that model, the American model. And I joined them, did some training with them, and then I found Nest Seekers, which is much more in line with what the branding and what I do. And I'm really happy with Nest Seekers, so that's what I'm doing.
Thank you for that. What a journey. What a bounce around, actually, because it hasn't been linear at all. Sometimes people have a journey in a career path, and it just kind of takes them in one direction. But for you, it was like I bounced here, did a bit of hairdressing, did to start in the galleries, and then just bounce around, also looking after your children as well. And then you found something that was aligned with your interior design passion as well. Your really unique gift to be able to sell properties and turn it around, because is that where your intuitive side comes into it then? Because if these properties have been on the market for quite some time, you've gone in there. Is it purely intuition that you are using to be in flow, to know what's going on?
Okay, so there's the intuition, there's the experience, there's the creativity, and my skills, because obviously I've got the skills coming in from being a stylist with my husband's business. The creativity, because I'm naturally creative anyway. I can look at something, and in my head I can see how it's going to pull together, what's needed, the colors, and the spatial plan, etc., all of that, and the intuition. And it's not only that in terms of the actual home, the property, is actually dealing with the client, because I find sometimes it's the client that's a problem. Sometimes it's them not understanding what they need to do, them not relating to the agent, another relationship thing, them not understanding the market, them not not getting to grips with where they're going, because they're going to leave here and go on to their new adventure. Okay, so why are you hanging on to the way that the place looks now with all your things in it, When people can't are coming in and they can't see the vision through your clutter and your how you've got things. You need to change something so people can actually see the lifestyle that they're going to live in the property. So where are you going? What kind of place are you going to move to? So I sit with my clients and I talk to them and really get to know what they want and where they're going. And is it more about the money? You're trying to offload your property really quickly? Maybe you need to adjust the price. Is it because you want to upsize, downsize? Where are you going with your future? So that's part of my coaching side of things that come in there. But I always deal with the client first, the person first. Then we look at the property. Then we look at staging and all of that kind of stuff. And then we, get on with the marketing. But I'm always holding my client, at every step of the way. What do you need to know? Where do you need to go? Do you need to talk to me at 12 o'clock at night? Yeah, that's fine. I'm here. Because then that makes things move smoothly rather than people are sitting there worrying and wondering. The conveyancing system in this country is very convoluting and people don't know, it's archaic. So you need somebody to be able to say, hey, this is what this means and this is why the market's doing that and all of that kind of stuff, and keep people calm so they don't get anxious, so you can talk to them and they can make the decisions for themselves about where they're going, and they get control.
So one of the words that is jumping out at me there when you speak is just the empowering the client in that process to know a bit more about it. And not only that, it's the mindset piece that you do with them, because when you think about it, depending on how long you've been in a home, it could be long term, it could be short term, there's going to be some emotional attachment that you have to that home, and suddenly you are losing it. So it's like a grief process perhaps they might be going through as well, because it's still a life. And people don't realize that change, yes, you may have a vision, sometimes you might not even have the vision, and that's where you can come in to help with that vision. But equally, there is that grief, isn't it? A sense of loss. Have you experienced that when talking to your clients?
Absolutely. They've got memories. They've got stories. They've got good times, bad times. They've got things in place that have emotional meaning as well. Grandma's chest and my photographs and all of that kind of stuff. And it's all going to be shifted. And it is like a grief. I mean, moving home is akin to, on the scale of emotional trauma, like a divorce or death. It's like an ending. But obviously there's going to be a new beginning, but you don't know what's going to happen. And you're not sure how, that you've not only got the agent, you've got the solicitor, you've got the buyers, you've got to keep your home tidy, you've got to, there's maybe some people in the place don't want to move. You've got to try and convince them. There's a lot of emotional trauma going on with moving home. So it's a huge stress. So I can come in and help people with that.
I can totally understand that, and it's great that you were able to come in and help them with that. And in terms of what you do, because when you mentioned Nest International, and I thought, oh my gosh, because I love watching Selling Sunset and all of those things, and it feels very American. And I thought, oh my gosh, it happens here in the UK. Like I didn't quite fathom, I guess, the fact that staging process and the brokerage happens here in the UK. So let's talk about some of the staging that you do when you go into a home as well. Are there some key red flags that you see when you walk into a home and say, this is a common thing that happens?
Oh, in terms of the place not selling, or Okay, so you have clutter. I mean, that's a big thing. Clutter, when people just live their normal lives and they're used to their clutter and it's too much stuff and all of that kind of stuff, and they think when somebody comes in they can see beyond the clutter. They're looking at the four walls and how much space, but they cannot, because you've got so much stuff in there. It makes the place smaller, more cramped, and the subconscious mind is thinking, oh my god, this is like a danger zone. It's like, whoa, there's stuff everywhere, and automatically you get a feeling that this is not a safe place to be, but you're not thinking it's not safe. It's your body thinking it's not safe. So you get a repellent feeling. Personalized things as well. Too many personal stuff, like loads of pictures and photographs of people who live there. That can be an off-put as well, because it's very personalized. Or your favorite ornament, it could be that those fish tails that used to flap to the music. It could be that you're proud of, or you got some piece of furniture you think that's great, or colors. You've got really weird colors that you think it's really interior designery for you, but you can't. Nobody's gonna have that color. They're thinking, okay, I'm gonna have to spend money to pay someone to have that changed.
Yeah.
So that's okay. So I'm going to drop the price on that. There's things like DIY that's been done badly as well. It's unfinished, and somebody's like tried everything. Right, you know what? I'm going to move. I'll just move because I can't finish this DIY. Yeah. So, and then the person comes in and looks and thinks, okay, I'm going to take off 10 grand off the price because I'm going to have to finish this stuff. So there's lots of things that that this house isn't selling for this price because of X, and it's not selling quickly because of Y. So yeah, there's lots of things in terms of the staging.
Yeah. And are your clients, are they generally quite receptive of that? Are they open to change, or are you finding that there's some blockages?
There's some blockages sometimes. There's some I'd probably say 80% of the time there's always some kind of, hey, I don't want to. And there's like 20% say, hey, do what you want, do whatever you want. And there's people in between kind of thing. Yeah. But the resistance is, this is my home. How dare you try and change it? It's my stuff and I want it the way I want, So what you're telling me, no, it's not going to be your home. This is why you have me here, because you're going to sell your home.
Yes.
You need to start thinking about being somewhere else. Focus on where you want to be, not where you have been. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's that coaching part where you say you move somebody from where they are to where they want to be, and creating that vision. And I think often why we get stuck is because we don't have a sense of clarity.
Yes.
What it is that we truly desire as well.
Yeah.
So obviously there's moving somebody from their current home to their new home, but it feels to me that there's a missing piece between that, like the gap. So it's like building the bridge between that. It's like, is there a technique that you can help with that transition so that their mindset moves more into embracing the new beginning?
Right. Well, I can give you a live example. Okay. So back in 2020, my first open house, leading up to that. Okay. So the couple had their property on the market for 4 or 5 months with a local agent. Okay. And it had 4 viewings in that time. No offers, nothing. No, didn't even get any feedback from the agent. Okay. So I was introduced by a close friend with a mutual close friend. Yeah. They need to move, otherwise they're going to miss an opportunity. If they don't sell by a certain time, they're going to miss an opportunity going forward. Okay. So I've come in and I've seen, okay, so it definitely needs staging, because what had happened with this couple over the years, one parent from one person and another parent from another person elderly parent came to live in their house. Yeah. Plus they had their children there as well. And over like the 17 years they were there, the elderly mum and dad came to live and brought all their stuff with them as well. So the place was cluttered. When I got there, it wasn't cluttered, but it wasn't staged. It wasn't set. Everything was like pushed in a corner with boxes, and all the furniture was pushed out the way, because their intention was they're going to move. Why put everything back to make it look homely? We're moving. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the agent had taken the photos as is. So they weren't very appealing. Yeah. Okay. So because I'm an independent agent, I have to spend money out to get the photography done, get the staging done. I do free staging for my clients anyway, the basic staging with whatever they've already got. If we have to buy a few things, then we set a little budget for maybe plates or whatever's missing. Yeah. But I do the main work myself for free for my clients. Okay. If we need to do any kind of decorating or contract work, I put them in touch with my contractors and they deal with the client directly, but I oversee everything. And if they need actual furniture or artwork or anything like that, then I've got an actual staging company where they can hire the furniture, etc. So I work with them independently. Yeah. So I recommend that company to them. So they just didn't need any of that. They already had stuff. They had stuff in boxes, they had plates, they had curtains, they had cushion, they had everything all boxed up. So I took everything out, restaged everything, staged the place really nicely. I did an open house. on the 21st of March, 2020. We had 6 people come through. We had 2 really good offers. Then on the 23rd of March, lockdown. So everything went flat. The buyers pulled out. They can't sell. Everything was really crazy. Luckily, the government realized that home is a basic human need. People need to move. There's contracts in flow and everything. So they opened up the property market. We kept everything going until we could actually get the all clear to actually go forward. And we had 18 viewings during that time. Yeah. So the people were still, because of the photos, they were still like looking and everything. And plus, because it was on the coast as well, people are looking to move out of the city because of the germ.
The germ.
That was going on. The germ. So I had 18 viewings. We did online viewings. We did in-person viewings. And then when the lockdown ceased, I started phoning everybody who'd actually been on the viewings, and they two people actually called me, and then we took one of those offers to completion. But the point being is that I had to calm my client down in the first place because they were desperate. It was like, we need to move, we have to move, but they don't want to move. Their focus was on the 17 years that they were there, building their family, the family memories, their children, growing their children up, being in the local area, making friends in the local area, having mom and dad there, and they didn't want to part with that. That's what their focus was. We're leaving behind. Should we move? We're leaving behind all of these memories. So what I got them to do was focus on what do they want to do. Okay, so one of them wanted to start a new business. They wanted to travel. So really, they weren't going to be in the house much anyway. They wanted to travel the world. They wanted to be, have less work. Maybe the garden was a bit too big. So I said, right, focus on the vision of your home that you want to move into. And don't let me hear you talk about anything to do with this past. You've got your photos, you've got your memories in your head. Focus in your mind of what you want. And then the sleepless nights stopped. They were all excited about where they were going to move to. And then, so that was a skill that I had to help them to not think about the past and the emotional side of things. So,
that's an amazing story that you shared there of their journey, because if we are attracting our experiences, our energy is so important. So if you've got that fear-based energy, you're going to attract more experiences into your life that are associated with that desperation, with that anxiety, with that stress. Whereas what you've done is you've moved them into the intention, into the vision, into the love-based energy, the desire. And to say that, because quite often we can focus on what we don't want, but not on what we do want. Even our language shows that as well. We always have tendency to talk about what we don't want. Like, for example,
I don't want that.
Exactly. I'm doing my coaching. I'm like, so what are your relationship desires? Well, I don't want somebody that is this. I don't want somebody that. And I'm like, okay, so let's do the opposite. So if you don't want that, because sometimes you have to have that clarity of what you don't want, but then you can reframe it to what it is
that you do want.
And then stay in that energy, isn't it? In terms of
exactly.
So that's exactly what you do. That, and I absolutely love you sharing that journey. Now, because you have this skill of being a real estate consultant, are there any misconceptions about what you do? Are people expecting some sort of magic pill that you've got, and suddenly the property is going to sell in a day just because they've enlisted you?
Yeah, exactly. Especially in this country, because real estate, I say that I'm a real estate broker rather than an estate agent, to differentiate the two. So estate agency in this country is very much more transactional. It's like more, it's all about the money and the equity, and how fast they can sell it and how many points you can get in your office, and if you're at the top of the tree, and you'll do anything to be at the top of the tree to get more commission and all that kind of stuff. On the inside, on the outside, people get a raw deal, because an agent will come in and say, we've got buyers already lined up for this kind of property, and then nothing happens. They don't actually do any work in terms of contacting people who aren't in their database, proactive marketing, like going out and talking to people, networking. They wait for things to come in, like, because they're advertising on Rightmove or whatever. They wait for the buyers to come in. They wait for the sellers to come in. So they're sitting there and just, wait and, maybe do a couple of things on social media, but they're not actually proactively going out. So then people get disappointed that their property is not selling or selling for the amount, because tendency is to drop the price, start with a high price and then drop the price over time. And that's not a good strategy neither. You need to be positioned in the marketplace where people are interested, but then you create buyer competition by presenting the property really nicely, and then you get 2 or 3 buyers say, hey, we want that. So and then the price goes up because they'll offer more. Yeah, so that tends to happen more in the States than over here. You know, over asking, over asking is much more common there than here, where they tend to drop the price over time, and then you're desperate and you just take the last, like you 50 grand less than what you wanted, kind of thing, because you want to sell the house by a certain time. It's not selling because it was priced too high in the first place. So the expectations, when I actually go to evaluation, I have to educate my client about how we are different. Yeah, we do all these different things. We sit with you, we work with you, we do the open house, we do the staging, we do proactive marketing. I've done 4 networking events, live networking events in the last 2 weeks, and contacting people who are looking for a certain property, and I'm marketing as a particular difficult property at the moment because it's not the run-of-the-mill property. So I've got to go and find those buyers who are interested, investors or developers who are interested in finishing this project. That's in Ibiza at the moment. So it's like, okay, so who do I need to talk to? He's got contacts who are more likely to be wanting to do that kind of. It's not a normal family that will want this property or pay the money. So I've got to do a lot more groundwork. So that's the difference between an estate agent in the office and me as a realtor who has to eat what I kill. I've got to do the work, bring out the bacon, and I've got to keep on point and keep my client happy, completely happy and informed all the time at every stage. So, but it's so much more because I'm more in control. It's much more fun. It's much more like, hey, this is exciting. I've got to make sure my client's happy and I'm doing my job, and the job that I'm doing, I'm loving my job anyway. So
Oh, well, thank you for that explanation, because I think having that clarity and distinction between those 2 roles is really important because of everything else. I mean, looking at my background right now, Jennifer, I would imagine that it could do with a little bit of staging. There may be a plant somewhere. For those who are watching on YouTube, and for those who are listening on audio, I've got a background on what I was talking to. And a little lackluster.
So a bit of life, bit of colour, bit of something inviting, lifestyle-wise, a bit of artwork. Always say to people, have some original art in your home. Something either someone else has created or you've created, because that shows the love that's been put into that piece of work, and you have it in your home. It's like an energy thing. So try.
Do you take the artwork with you, or do you leave it in the house?
No, take it with you. It's yours. It's your energy, your thing.
Okay, it's not something that you just pass on to the next owner.
No. Or actually, that depends on the level of the property, because we deal with prime and super prime property, and sometimes the owner sells the whole thing, the whole scheme as designed by the designer, and it's everything goes and stays with the property, because it's a look.
So is that kind of
about the multi-million-pound properties? That's what normally happens.
Goals. One day I'll get there, Jennifer. Don't you worry. That will be my goal, my house goal.
I'm your girl. I'm your girl.
We all know who to go to now. That's for sure. Thank you so much for explaining what you do so beautifully, because I think it's given me a lot of clarity. It will give the listeners so much clarity as well. Something I did want to explore with you a bit when you were talking about your journey was the period of homelessness that you have. So not technically living on the streets, but bouncing around from property to property, renting and so forth. How were you able to navigate that process so well, like mindset wise and also emotionally?
Well, emotionally, I was in the gutter, in the pits. It was like I'd lost everything. Who's going to believe that I'm a great coach anymore? Who's going to believe I'm a business coach? Because I lost all my investments. I've lost my beautiful house. And it was like lack of faith in my own self. And it's like, okay, so how can I keep the business going? I've got to put on a front that everything is okay and I can still help people to achieve their goals. And it was, asking, family, and friends, you know, can I actually, it was more of an invitation. They'd say, okay, so come and stay with me for a while, you know, or come and stay with me. I've got an empty room. You can stay here. You can stay there. And as I'm navigating my career back on track, I'm making decisions about, okay, so there was a point when I'd lost the house, I'd lost my my relationship, and then I was on my own, and I was in my flat, and I had my cat on the southeast coast, heading for a significant birthday. I'm thinking, no, this ain't happening to me. I've still got an empire to build. I'm not going to be retiring down here on the southeast coast with my cat like a little old lady. I'm sorry, it's not happening. Okay, so within 2 weeks, I'd sold everything. So brand new stuff that I moved into this flat with, sold everything, and I'd moved back to London with my sister. Okay. And the idea being I was going to move from the coast to Catford to California. Okay.
Coast to Catford. There's seas. There's something about seas here.
Yeah. So because my boys live on the west side, on the west coast. Yeah.
Okay.
One's in LA and the other one's in Arizona, so it's west side, right? So I thought, right, okay, so I'm gonna, because you know they love coaching out there. I'm going to be a great, you know, they understand what I'm about. It'll be easy to be out there. Okay, so I moved in with my sister. We fell out, and then I moved in with a friend and his girlfriend. I stayed there for a while until my eldest son had we discovered that he had renal failure. So all my money that I had to move went on keeping him alive with medication, etc., because you have to pay for everything in the States. Yeah. So then went to see him, spent 3 weeks out there, and I moved back and moved in with my mom, because obviously, you know, it was like there was no more money left. Yeah. So I moved in with my mom for a while, then I moved out. And then I moved in with a friend, and then moved back with my mom, and then I'm now in my own flat with all my things that I put in storage everywhere, all in one place. Yeah. But navigating that mentally was, okay, who am I? And as an essence, my home is with me. I'm wherever I'm going, I'm taking my essence and my energy. I am working with the people that I'm living with, like, you know, not messing up their equilibrium, working with them if they've got problems, or if we can work together. One of my friends is a healer and a coach herself, so we work together, and you know, helped her clients, she helped my clients. So wherever I was serving from my essence of who I'm being. Who am I? Yeah. I'm a coach. That's what I do. Even with my real estate business, I coach my clients. So I've always been that kind of person. So I keep that in my mindset. That's who I am. So I'm going to serve this, but I want to help this person. I want to help that. Naturally, just help the people I'm with. Yeah. No matter what they're going through, I'm going to be helping them. So that's how I navigated that until I got to be in this position here where I'm really powerful. I'm saying, yeah,
exactly. And I can feel that, because it's like the pain and the struggle that has left you to really tapping into your sense of purpose even more. Because
yes,
when you think about it, that question, who am I?
Yeah.
Because quite often, sometimes we can wear the hats of so many different things. Me, I'm a mummy. No, I'm a relationship and dating coach. I am a sister. I'm a daughter. You know, all of these different labels. But if you were to strip that away as well, like seriously, at my core, at your essence, like the word that you used there, who am I?
Yeah.
And if I feel uncomfortable with that process, then it's really about working through that. You know, what is making me feel uncomfortable about who I am? Because when we question it, it's often that we're not living our authentic self. We're not being our authentic self. Did you find that at all?
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of things that I had to work through about who I'm being and the kind of person I am. And I'm always a people pleaser, and it always ends up with me being overburdened by other people's problems. Instead of taking it on board as I am serving you, but I'm leaving you with a problem and a solution, and I'm coming away just being myself. So it's and this is why we need people like you, because you have the skills to hold people together while they're going through that process, going through the who am I and what do I want, and especially with a relationship, because I did a bit of relationship coaching training to be able to help my clients with whatever they're doing in their business, because coaching I was doing, and relationships in business is key. How you react to people, how you deal with your clients, your significant other, your suppliers, everybody. It's all relationship based. So I needed to learn how to navigate that as well, and help my clients navigate that kind of thing as well. So yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I can imagine some of the stress that can actually be caused upon the dynamics of a relationship for a couple, for example, who are selling, or the family, and the stress that can come from that, and the impact in the relationship too. And that's the thing, relationship building is key in all areas of what we do. And that's what I do. I want to create a safe container for my clients to be able to navigate their way through some of the blockages with no criticism, no judgment as well. It really is just witnessing where you are. And I think if you can hold that space to just witness where you are, to say, okay, so where do I want to be? No, in reality, I am this. But often for the thing that we desire, we may have to be someone else. Which means showing up more of you. So some of the things, one of the things that you mentioned actually was the people pleasing element. And I know that you know about energy, feng shui, you are into that kind of energetic work. So the idea of masculine and feminine energy as well. Did you find that in what you've done and through your life journey that you have been more in the masculine energy of fixing and doing?
When I discovered that thing exists, the masculine and feminine energy, it really shifted my relationship with one of my ex-partners. He was he is, I think, still an actor. He's 11 years younger than me, and we had this dynamic where he was in his feminine, he's running on his feminine, I'm running on my masculine. So he's being in the receptive sort of, I need help, can you show me what to do? Where can I, it was very feminine based. He's very creative, etc., right? And I was running on my masculine. Okay, we're going to do it like this is how we're going to do this. This is the plan. And especially being in business as well, business is masculine, money is masculine, and for women to be in masculine all the time, you get burnout. So the idea with, if you're going to be a good businesswoman, you have to take breaks to be feminine, masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine, so that you can keep that energy going, because you can't run on masculine all the time, because we're not built like that. So when I read about the masculine and feminine energy, and I explained to him, he's running on his feminine, this is what you're meant to be doing. You're supposed to make the decisions, you're supposed to be having the North Star, where we're going. And if I buy into that as your partner, you take me with you. And I'm supposed to be more receptive. You do things for me, I ask you to do them, and you do them for me. And I'm meant to be more creative, more time out, be with my girlfriends, all of that kind of, get into art, that kind of stuff. And, be accepting of your nice words, and you're going to take me here, take me there, and all that kind of stuff, and not be bullying you. You're going to do this, I'm going to make you do this.
It's a different energy.
I'm going to invite you to do this. I'm going to say, hey, would you like to do this? Do you think it's a good idea for us to do that? And then you make the decision. So we had a chat around that, and it changed the dynamic. It was brilliant. We had a really good time until things fell apart. But it was he managed to get more things done because he was trying to start a business for ages, and it wouldn't work. And then when he started thinking, okay, well, I need to make a decision here, I'm not going to pussyfoot around, I'm just going to make the decision. And then I say, okay, that's great, that's a great idea, try it and see, rather than say, no, you can't do that like that, because this is going to happen, blah blah blah. I stopped all of that and let him do his thing, and it was much more amiable. So masculine, and we both both sexes have got both masculine and feminine energy within us. Is what drives us, and what we're running on makes the difference.
Oh, absolutely. And I love the way that you explain how the dynamics change when you allowed yourself to take your hands off the control a little bit. Invite him, encourage him, make some suggestions, then allow him to step into his empowered masculine energy and to say, thank you for the invitation. I will now take control, and I will be the provider, you know, in that, rather than us. But like you said, it's striking that harmony between the two, because yes, we have these energies within us, masculine and feminine, and we do need it. I need my masculine energy too to get me be a go-getter, to go out there, to have the vision, to have the inspiration, the goals. Absolutely. And then there's times when I have to just sit back and be in flow, and be in the receptive energy. That's not always so easy though, because you know, when you are used to doing things, then to sit back and say, rest, pause, allow, you know, and it does take effort to do that. But when you can do that, it's just absolutely amazing. The energy is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So you've spoken about that relationship there, that change. You also spoke about the other relationship where both of you wanted to be in control freaks.
Yes.
I would love to know any more sort of key lessons and learnings you've had from romantic relationships, past, current, that you have taken with you now and think, okay.
Well, the attracting toxic relationships that aren't necessarily narcissistic, more borderline kind of situations where they're like not so much I'm the big I am. It's more like I'm going to lose my temper, I'm going to shout at you, it's not I'm not under control, and don't touch my buttons, because you know, and you're pussyfooting around them and you can't say what you need to say and all that kind of stuff. So I was tending to attract those kind of people because of who I am, the people pleaser. I can help you, I can do this, and you know, whatever, and they take advantage. So it got to a point where I got to look at this archetype of who I'm attracting over the years. What kind of person is this? So obviously it's something to do with me inside here. So I need to change this before I can even go forward. And I spent 10 years changing me to be the kind of person who will attract. I call it attract my king of a man. So I needed to become the queen of a woman to be the king, because he wants a queen. My king wants a queen. So I can't just go to any old man and say you're a king, and I'm being this little prison waif. He's not going to be attracted. He wants to be attracted to a queen of a woman, someone who knows who she is, where she's going, is sensitive, assertive, and receptive to his whatever he's going to bring to me. And my king has got to be, he knows his North Star, he knows exactly where he's going, he knows what he wants, and he's got his bag of goodies to bring to me for me to have a look in. So I like what you got going on there, and yes, I'm going to follow you, I'm going to follow your lead, because the guys have got to be in a position of leadership. And he wants to help me with my position of leadership in my company, what I'm doing as well, and give me advice and whatever, and I'm receiving it. But he allows me to have my space in my business and do the thing I want to do too. So wherever he is, it's probably Jesus, but I don't know. I don't know where he is.
And he said he's right here, right now.
He's right here, right now. Yes, I've got to do that. I've got to do that. Yes,
right here, right now.
He's looking for me. I'm looking for him. Yeah,
exactly. And you are becoming a magnet for that, because of the energy that you put for each other. And that's absolutely so inspiring. So along your finding yourself exactly what qualities you want from your king of a man, and then also within yourselves, have you found that there are some common values that you would like to share with that person that really stick out for you?
Good question. Common values. Well, I've got a little chart that I use with my coaching clients, where we sort of put our values in order. So you list your values and you pitch one against each other. And my top values are unconditional love, health, because that's important at the moment, good health, and knowledge. Really funny enough, I like to know stuff. Not that I'm an analyst or a green type person where I'm sitting there reading books and analyzing things. No. I just need to know stuff. I like to know, for example, I'd like to know how you got into being a relationship coach and who you've spoken to, I like to know about architecture. I like to know about music and film. And if people have got that a deeper level knowledge, like who the producer was and who the filmmaker was and who built the building and how long it took, I'm really interested in all that kind of knowledge. Yeah. So I'd like that person to be interested in stuff too, you know, not even important stuff like trivia, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So there's a set of those values that I'd like them to have as well.
Isn't it? Is that clarity, because then you become more of a match, because often if we want somebody to attract somebody, we actually live in those values. So of course, now if I want unconditional love, am I being a being that gives unconditional love? Am I open to receiving unconditional love, whatever it is? So again, if I want somebody who is knowledgeable, how am I showing up as being knowledgeable too, in order to have that compatibility? You know, it really does increase the level of compatibility when you've got those shared
that magnetism, that attraction. It's like
that comes together. And I love that you use the word love as part of your values, because for you, Jennifer, what is your personal definition of love in the context of romantic relationships?
Wow, that's good. That's a good question. Love. Okay. So love, I mean, the word itself has so many facets, hasn't it? So, but in an intimate relationship, it's like you are interested, you are invested, you care, you go the extra mile. You know, you it's not just sitting there admiring somebody. It's like you make an effort, you put some energy in, and that love energy. There's no, and it's trust as well. It's like there's no fear, there's no doubt, there's none of, you know, it's like I love you regardless of anything. I don't care what's going on for you, I love you. And I'm there, I'm prepared to if you've got issues or challenges or whatever, I'm prepared to help you work through them because I love you that much. It's like a giving thing. I'm giving out to you, I'm pouring out my love to you, and I'm feeling something back, because obviously you've got to receive something. And even if it's not their pure love coming back, there's potential for that pure love to come back as well, you know. And
that's so nice, because what I'm hearing there too is partnership. In that, it's like having that partner, that giving, that receiving, knowing that you're pouring in and they're also pouring into that dynamic too. And it may pour in different ways, as you said. It might not be like for like. I did this tit for tat, so I have to do equally the same. It's like you may pour in different ways, but equally you are pouring into each other's energy, which is so beautiful. And one of my previous guests, actually, Sarah Louise Ryan, she said that love is unconditional, but you have conditions with your boundaries. And I think that's the difference, because because some people do say, and there's going to be different schools of thoughts on this, Jennifer, I'm sure there will be, that love has conditions. But I think if we are our very core, our love and our essence is love, there is no conditions around that, because that's essence, right?
That's who you are.
That's who you are. We are love. We're born love. But it's all of the different things, the boundaries, it's the relationship dynamics, it's all of the components of a relationship that actually makes it conditional, but not love. No, I would.
So this is what I'm saying, because no matter what issues are going on for you, I know there's potential for we can work things out, but there are boundaries. There's no, I mean, with learning how to not be the people pleaser and not putting up with certain things, and not just accepting things and just saying, hey, you're doing this, I'm not accepting that, I'm walking away from that. You treat me differently or you do something different, but I'm not having that. I love you. I mean, love in terms of my brother. There was something that he said, this was back in the 80s. He said something, he was working with my husband at the time, and he said something, and it'd been building up, and he just said this one thing, and that was it. I didn't speak to him for 4 years. 4 years, right? I thought, I've had enough of this. I don't know you. You don't exist. We could be in the same place, family gatherings, whatever. I'm not speaking. I don't know you. You don't exist. I've had enough. I'm not giving you any more of my energy. However, my nephew had a broken arm, and I went to see him in hospital. Didn't see want to see him. I'm talking to my nephew. I'm come to see my nephew. Yeah. During all that time, I still love my brother, no matter what. If something happened to him, I'll be there for him. Yeah, but I'm there for my nephew. He broke down. My brother broke down into tears. He was crying. He said, "Oh, Jen, I didn't realize I didn't think you'd come, and thank you so much for coming. And I thought you wouldn't want to come and or have anything to do with me, and all of that kind of." And he apologized for what he said, and when we talked, so we got back together again. But I can't expend my energy on you if I'm not. You've gone beyond my boundaries. I'm sorry, but I still have that love for you because you're my brother, you're my friend, you're a human being. I'm there for you if you're in trouble or if you need help. I'm still there for you. No problem at all. Yeah.
I completely hear that. And the way that you described love was so magical. And the way that you've also so beautifully described the importance of having boundaries, because you can still be there for that person 100% because you love them, and that's it. But you still have to have those boundaries as well, to be able to know when it is okay to say no, because you're saying yes to yourself. You're saying yes to protecting your energy. You're saying yes to protecting your emotions, your mental well-being. And then you just never know, because look at that story. You turned it around, and then you've been able to heal from that, and be able to still connect. So sometimes, having those boundaries can feel quite scary, because it takes us out of our comfort zone, and not everybody is very comfortable with saying no, or not yet, or no, this isn't for me. And it can be, but once you get yourself into the habit and you're doing it because you generally care for yourself, because boundaries really is just taking care of your emotional and your mental, even your physical well-being. That's basically what a boundary is. There's a difference between a boundary and a barrier. Barriers can actually just cut it off and just say no. Done.
Forever.
Forever. Like that's it. Deleted, blocked.
Yes.
Sometimes is that barrier we can put up, but then there's the boundary, and there's a softness behind a boundary, because there's more of a caring piece.
It can be moved. It can be moved.
It can be shifted. And I think that flexibility of knowing that boundaries can be moved and can be shifted, because we are evolving beings and growing beings.
yes, exactly. I think as well, one technique that actually did help me with all of it through since I learned it is EFT, emotional freedom technique, because that helps to the tapping that helps to shift, because when you have trauma or traumatic events, they're not relieved. Those traumatic events actually sit in your meridian points and sit within your body to help you to navigate when it's going to happen again, so you can move out of the danger, because you can actually feel when you're going to go into that situation again, and you move. So you tap on these points and to relieve that energy within you, and then you're free to go about your business freely, and you're not thinking, oh my God, I'm going to go into a scary situation again. So that technique really did help me with all the traumas I've been through. And it's like, and the repetition and the habits, it just breaks some of those habits that those emotional habits, and
I think that technique is very, very for freedom. Exactly, emotional freedom. Technique called tapping, and it is something that has also helped me. It's something that I do with my coaching as well.
Fantastic. I did it. Well done.
I do. Particularly for my self-forgiveness technique. So help them to tap out any unforgiving thoughts and emotions that they have. So that's something I do use with my clients. And equally, for anybody listening to this, it's something to explore, because it's quite similar to like acupuncture, really, isn't it? Those points in your body.
In your body.
Exactly. So definitely something that has worked for me. I find it completely
like your whole body shifts. You feel the shift within you. It's like, oh my God. And if you're approaching a certain situation again, it's you don't get that, it's like, oh, it's gone.
Sometimes it's choosing the time and place of doing it, though, because if you're talking to somebody around your phone, party chopping, then
I tend to do it under the table like this, or under my hair like that, just tap here like this, and it's just one little point. One
little point. It's quite similar to anchoring. I would say, because I've done a bit of like NLP, anchor movements, like the finger. If you get that, you can really anchor. There's loads of techniques that people can do out there to actually find one that's for them that can help to alleviate that stress, like what you said, to be relaxed, recouped, revived. Oh, I just love your mission statement is just so amazing.
Exactly. And the whole point of all of that, relieving the anxiety and everything, is that, and those meridian points, is to actually clear your frontal lobe, because when you're in that anxious fight or flight state, the whole of your frontal lobe shuts down, where you have language, decision making, creativity, all of the things that you need to progress. That's gone. It's foggy brain. Yeah. So my clients need to have a clear head to make decisions going forward. So I need them to be in a certain state so that they can make those important decisions. That's it.
So amazing. You know, and I just really want to honor you for the work that you do, because of course it's very different to, like you said, a typical real or estate agent. What you do exactly, because
down the road selling property.
Exactly, because that mindset piece and that whole understanding a bit more about empowering yourself. I didn't have that when I bought my property. It was just kind of, and it was a stressful time. Of course, there's the negotiations, there's the moving, there's all of that stuff that comes through. But if I had someone like your wonderful self to be able to help, to be able to help me with that, the process would have been so much more seamless and relaxing,
and probably enjoyable as well.
That word, enjoyable. So when I got those keys and I put them through the door, I'm like, it happened. Now onto the decorating. So it was absolutely. Oh, Jennifer, I absolutely loved this conversation. I really have done.
I did as well. You've got some really good questions that I had to really think about, and and I love the way that you are in terms of how you talk about dealing with your relationship clients as well. So that's really lovely.
Well, thank you for that feedback. I really do appreciate that, because I'm so passionate about what I do. I'm so passionate about and for me, self-love and self-care, self-empowerment, it all starts with us, because the relationships do bounce off the relationship that we have with ourselves fundamentally. So this is why I host this podcast, to help people, to showcase people's work, in order for people to feel empowered, to know what they can do for themselves, what's out there in all dynamics of their life, whether it's your career, whether it's your property, whether it's your health, whatever it is. It starts with you, and it impacts on the relationships of other people. So bless you so much for your time and energy today. Before we go, Jennifer, I would love for you to leave our listeners with one key takeaway that could help them on their journey of love, life and relationships.
Okay, one key
takeaway, like a lesson or learning that they can put in a toolkit.
To put in their toolkit. Okay, the question: who do I want to become? Who do I want? It's not what I want, it's who do I want to become, because from the becomingness you get what you want. You alleviated on it earlier about how you can't be the same person to get what you want. You have to be a different person to get what you want. So who do you want to become? Answer that question.
That's like reverse engineering. Powerful listeners. Now I will give you some time after this podcast episode to write that out, journal about it. Journaling is fantastic. You can start to witness your thoughts and any self-doubts that may come in from that. And as we mentioned earlier during our discussions, is to reframe it and say, who do I want to become? So beautiful. Jennifer, how can our listeners get in contact with you? Should they want to know, or have you got any events coming up?
Right. First of all, my name, if you put Jennifer Beaumont-Whyte with a Y in on Google, I'm the only one in the world. So any social media that you want to connect with me, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, I'm the only one in the world, right? I tend to live on LinkedIn and Instagram, but you can also call me. I'm on WhatsApp and you can text me. So I don't know if I can say my number, or
you can, but I'm going to put all of your details in the show notes. It'll all be there.
Okay, you can call me directly. It tends to be WhatsApp. So when you do WhatsApp, say who you are and where you came from through Teresha. And events coming up. I don't have any events coming up, but we do broker events and things like that. I'm actually launching my How to L-O-V-E Your Clutter e-guide, which I'll put into my Instagram I've got 3 Instagrams. One is me, one is JBW underscore Nest Seekers property underscore property angel. So that's all about my property. My normal one, the Jennifer Beaumont-Whyte one, is all about my coaching and inspiration and what's going on in my life. And the third one is L.O.V.E. your clutter as an Instagram, and it's all about the decluttering from the inside out. So that's the third one.
Amazing.
So it's all about property and home. Everything I do is around home here and home in your environment. So yeah,
there's that saying, isn't there? Home is where the heart is.
Home is where the heart is. Yeah. So where is your heart?
Where is your heart?
Are you doing what you love? Are you with who you love? Are you being L-O-V-E? Love.
Yeah. Amazing. Oh, Jennifer, thank you for sharing that. Again, like I said, all of those details are going to be in the show notes. Check out the e-guide that is coming as well in the bio on Instagram.
Yes.
So I'm going to be downloading that myself. Yes. I always like to do that. Yes. So again, Jennifer, thank you for your time, and for every single person who has listened to this episode, I want to thank you for your time, for your energy and attention today. Until next time, take great care of yourself and others too.